I am often asked by students and parents how many colleges should be on my list and what should the composition of that list be vis-a-vis targets, safeties, and reaches. So that's a two-part question, and I like to talk first about the size. I truly believe that if you've done your due diligence in terms of developing a college list that is well thought out and is personalized to your needs, you rarely need more than 10 colleges on that list. Uh, Beyond 10 indicates to me that you really haven't thought about this long and hard enough because you have not been able to narrow down the list to 10 schools that all have characteristics that are pretty tightly aligned with each other and also with you and with your goals. So I really recommend 10 as the max. Uh, so that's number one. That's sort of the extreme limit of the size that I think your list should have. In terms of the second part of the question, how much of that list should be safety, how much of it should be target, how much of it should be reach, that is, again, another personal decision to make. But my ideal scenario would be 3 safeties, 3 targets, and 3 reaches. A safety school, in my book, is one that really you can't help but get into. It cannot be a school that you have an 85% chance of getting into. It's got to be a school that if you were to flatline tonight as a senior or even younger, you probably would still get in to that school, even if you don't graduate. It really should be a safety, and one there is no doubt about in the eyes of you and your college counselor, and if you work with a consultant, your college admissions consultant. In terms of targets, you really want to look at schools that are 50-50 shots, really anything between uh, sort of 25% chance to 75% chance of getting in, sort of that middle 50%. And then reaches are schools that, uh, are difficult for everyone to get in, have very low acceptance rates, and or for you, because of your profile, are schools that you would be in the bottom 25% of what they're looking for in terms of grades and or scores. So depending on just how strong you are, you may not be looking at the most selective colleges, but you may be looking at schools in the reach category that would be schools that, objectively speaking, your grades and scores are in the lower 25% of what they would accept. So you want to have a balance between that. 3 safeties, 3 targets, 3 reaches in an ideal world, but of course an ideal world does not exist. So it is completely fine if you have only 1 safety, as long as that 1 safety is truly a safety and not a school that you're going to hope and pray is a safety if everything works out. It really does have to be a safety school. So always at least 1 safety, ideally 3. And again, another reason it's good to have 3 safeties is because what if your preferences change a little bit in the next several months before you actually have to make a decision about where you're going to go? If you have 3 safety acceptance letters and you don't get any acceptance letters from targets or reaches, it's still nice to have a few options. Whereas if you're only going to get into 1 safety and you get rejected from all your targets and reaches, then you're left with 1 option and you really don't have any choice in the matter anymore. So it's just nice to have options, even if these 3 safeties are very similar in location or majors offered or size. There will be differences between those 3 safeties, and if they are all safeties, they'll all be accepting you, and you will still have the ultimate say on where you would attend. That's why I do like 3 safeties. Again, balance, 3 safeties, 3 targets, 3 reaches. Of course, if you do only 1 safety and you still want to have 9 or 10 schools on your list, by all means, you can overload it with some reaches and or targets. But bottom line is always 1 safety, no more than 10 colleges on that college list if you've really thought this one out. and you should be good to go and have college options at the end of the process.